What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to another day here in the MC Parks server. Today we're going to be doing another Q&A. So we had a bunch of questions that I'm going to try my best to answer today. And we have a little more than our first episode. We have 4 questions to answer today. So if you have any questions about Disney or MC Parks or any of that kind of stuff, let me know down below and maybe I will answer it. So the first question is a personal question. How many times have you been to Walt Disney World? So this is a good question because I'm trying to remember how many times I went when I was younger. So I think I went twice as a kid. I went in, I don't know the exact years, but I want to say it was like 2005 and maybe 2005 and 2008, like twice when I was younger. And I guess a third time I went to Magic Kingdom because we went on a Disney cruise. So technically I went to Magic Kingdom 3 times. But on that third trip when I was younger, we only went to Magic Kingdom for the night. Because like I said, we ended up going on the Disney cruise. And then in 2018, 2016 and 2018 were the next times I went. So there was like almost a decade in my like teenage years and middle school, high school area, that kind of era. I didn't end up going to Disney World. So I guess that's 5. And then my most recent trip was December of 2023. So I guess that's 6 trips I've been to Walt Disney World. And pretty much all those trips except for the Disney cruise trip, I went for a week to Disney World. So that is kind of when we go down there, I want it to be every other year, but it doesn't always work out like that as you can tell off of that schedule. But yes, I've been there 6 different times. And let me know how many times you guys have been to Walt Disney World. I'd love to know how many times you guys have been. The next question is another personal question. I like this one. This is a good one. What is your favorite Disney character? So this one's kind of tough because I have a lot of nostalgia for certain characters, and I also have a lot of, I don't know, it's a tough one. It's changed over time. Now it's fitting that we're here in Muppet Courtyard because I would first say, Kermit and the Muppets. I really love the Muppets. I grew up with the Muppets, watching Fraggle Rock and Jim Henson and all of his creations. So I do have a soft spot for the Muppets here. Hopefully they don't get rid of this area ever, but we'll see what happens. Another really good one too, I love Stitch. I think Stitch is a really funny, kind of a pain in the ass character. I really love Stitch. That is definitely one that is in that conversation. Another one I would say is Winnie the Pooh. I really like Winnie the Pooh. That's more the nostalgia kicking in. I used to really love Winnie the Pooh, and I've said it on other videos. I used to ride the Winnie the Pooh attraction over and over and over again. So I do have a soft spot there for Winnie the Pooh. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, it kind of changes over time, right? Like I said, like obviously I'm not as big of a Winnie the Pooh fan as I was when I was younger, but I still, I love going on the Winnie the Pooh ride and things like that. Of the Fab Five, it's kind of difficult because I really like Mickey, but I also really like Pluto. I like all of them for different reasons. I don't think I could pick one of the Fab Five, and this is a really nice shot right here down Hollywood Boulevard with the lights behind it. I wish they still did that at MGM Studios. I don't know if they still do it. Or Hollywood Studios. Oh man, I can't believe I did it again. Ah man. I gotta put money in a jar every time I say MGM Studios because I should get that shirt. I see it on I think it's called T Public, and it says I still call it MGM. I think that shirt is pretty fitting for me. So the next question is, have you been to any Disney parks outside of Walt Disney World? I don't know what happened there. Okay, so technicality wise, I haven't been to any Disney parks, but I have been on the Disney Cruise Line. So that's the only non-Disney entity, or the only other Disney entity that I've been to outside of Walt Disney World. Um, in New York City, I've been to the New York City store in Times Square. I've done things like that, but I have not gone to any other parks. I haven't been to Disneyland or any of the overseas parks or anything like that. And like I said, I'd love to know which parks have you guys gone to other than Walt Disney World? Have you been to Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, any of those places? I'd love to know where you guys have been. And the last question today is a good one, and that's kind of why I came to Hollywood Studios today. Um, and this question is really really a good one. And what does this say? Is currently under construction. You can purchase early access and view it early. That's kind of cool. So I guess you can view it. I guess this like the streets are done. It's just the rides might not be finished. Um, and this question is Universal going to overtake Disney? And they're kind of elaborating on that. They kind of said in the question, like, it doesn't seem like Disney's taking Universal very seriously with Epic Universe coming in next year, and they wanted to know my thoughts on that. So this is a great question, and I gotta be honest, this is probably the best question in our Q&A series so far. And the reason I say that is it's a very deep question. There's a lot of different places you can go with this. So the first direction I'm going to go is, yeah, I don't think Disney's taking it seriously enough. And apparently Bob Iger has recently come out and even stated as much, saying that we don't see Universal as a threat. And they always keep saying, like, well, when Universal does things, well, we benefit because more people are in Orlando. But I think kind of my trip, right, the 7-day trip down to Orlando, most people can't take off like 2 weeks straight just to go to Disney World. That doesn't really happen. So what other ways can you kind of get people to stay at your resort? Now, I think that limit is probably 10 days. I think people will stay in Orlando, in the Orlando area for 10 days. I just don't see anything longer than that. I think it's just not realistic, right? Unless you're a crazy Disney fanatic, which I am planning on making my next trip a 10-day trip down there to try new things. But that's kind of where things are at. And I got to be honest, I am concerned for Disney. I try to be optimistic here on the channel and very, excited about Disney's projects and what Disney could do next and things like that. But I am genuinely concerned. There's a lot of problems with Disney World right now in terms of like not enough capacity at Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios. And then there's also half of Epcot in the front. Old Future World is just under construction and they're not expanding. They need to create more capacity at these parks. And I think that's a genuine problem. Like, they keep replacing things, which I get, but you need to add, because Disney is so popular, you're going to cut people out if it's constantly busy. It's so expensive to get in. It's not a good long-term strategy for Disney. And I really hope that with whatever new CEO comes in and does their thing, I really hope they focus on expanding the parks again. I think Michael Eisner did that really well, is he was always trying to expand the parks. And I think there is that, Disney's mindset right now is just kind of seeing Universal as a joke, and I think they're not going to see the issues with that until their market share goes down, and it's already too late. And people start getting that taste of Universal, they just go to try it, and they end up choosing Universal over Disney. I think there is a possibility where that does happen at some point, and it's kind of sad and something that I don't know if the Disney community is ready for, but I do see that coming up at some point. Universal's really focused on getting away from the screen-based attractions and getting into the genuinely more immersive experiences. And it's kind of history repeating itself. We saw them do this with Harry Potter. They kind of didn't take Harry Potter seriously, and I think there was a little sour grapes, because if you don't remember, they were working on something with Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling, and they ended up saying, they kind of shooed her away and said, listen, maybe we'll give you a spinner ride and that's it. and she ended up going down to Universal and really created the competition and the parks war in Orlando between Disney and Orlando and Universal from the you know Harry Potter area. So I think Disney's kind of falling into that again, thinking that they could just kind of let it happen, and then they're going to be very reactionary and start making changes after, right, when the damage is done. And I just really wish Disney was a little bit had more foresight for what Universal can do. And like I said, I just don't think they're taking them seriously enough. And I don't think I'm supposed to be back here, but this is actually supposed to be the what is it called? Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, but I guess you can't really make that in this server. And can I actually get out of here? Okay, I can. This is pretty cool though. It's like all behind the scenes here. Very interesting. So that is it for today's questions. I mean, like I said, the last question really excited me. I wanted to do another video on this after that. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of Universal? And do you see them as a threat to Disney? Because I truly do. I think it's going to slowly and steadily start taking away more people going to Disney World. And maybe they'll still go to Disney, but instead of spending 4 days at Disney, there's not much new at Hollywood Studios, or there's not much at Epcot's under construction. Instead of going to one of those parks, they'll do, instead of 4 or 5 days at Disney, maybe they'll do 2 or 3 days at Disney, and then 2 or 3 days at Universal to do their 3 parks. And I think that things are going to change here over the next little bit. I just wonder how Universal is going to continue to expand, and they're giving Disney a run for their money. But I think overall it's going to benefit us, because once Disney realizes that there is genuine competition, they're going to expand. They're going to have to do things to entice people to come back. And you just hope that not enough damage is done to the company where there's genuine problems that can't be fixed. I think Disney's still in a spot where they could fix things. I think they're in a spot where they could still fix some of the issues, but you never really know. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Have a magical day.